Well, this is the ODRVM 4K action camera. I'll get it out of the case and get it on charge, and while it's charging we'll take a look at what you get in this great little zip up case. So to get it out, slide the catch over, pop that up, and out it comes. Case looks nicely made. Anyway, we'll look at that in a minute. Right, so here's the camera in a nice vivid blue with a soft rubber feel front. Right, I'll plug it in and put it on charge. I know it's got a battery inside because it comes with two, and there's one there, so there must be one inside. And while it's charging, we'll take a look at the accessories that come in this little zip up case, which looks very convenient for carrying the whole lot around in. Right, well, I've got it on charge, and you can see there's a little icon flashing there to show that it's charging. Cameras always charge better when they're turned off, so I'm going to turn it off. Little red light there, which is probably the charge light, and no doubt once it goes off it will be fully charged. So let's take a look at these accessories. Right, well, first off, you've got the case. Looks nicely made. The manufacturers say waterproof up to 30 metres. As I showed you, easy enough to open. Just a question of sliding that little catch over and then getting your thumbnail under that, and there you go. Already got one mount attached to it, as you can see. The other thing you've got is the remote. It doesn't actually say, but I'd imagine it's water resistant, and of course it comes with a Velcro strap to put it on with. You've got a skeleton case here, which, as you can see, the camera just clips into. It's got tripod mount screws on as well. And the other thing you can do with this, it comes with a backpack clip. So this just slides in like so, and you can clip it on to a flying harness, a surfing harness, or whatever you want to use it on. USB charging cable. You've got a couple of little mounts here, one with a male tripod mount and the other with a female. So you can put it on a tripod. Got some cable ties. You've got the manual, which looks good. You've got another battery here. Battery life, they say, is somewhere between 40 and 70 minutes, depending on which resolution you're using. If you're recording at 4K, it tends to be more power hungry than if you're recording at, say, 1080. You've got a couple of these adhesive stick-on mounts that go onto skateboards or motorcycle helmets or whatever. And of course, the mounting clips just slide straight into them, like so. You've also got some spare sticky adhesive pads here with a wire strop to secure the camera. Got some straps here that you can actually put through these mounts if you want to put it on a cycle helmet. You've got a handlebar mount, and you've got three standoffs here, long ones, short ones, twisted ones, that either clip onto this, clip onto the bottom of the camera, and you've got thumb screws to tighten those up with. You've got a lens cleaning cloth, and you've got an open back that goes on the camera, so that if you want a bit of sound in and you don't need it to be 100% waterproof, you can unclip this by pushing it out from the bracket and put on this back. And of course, finally, you've got this great little case here that you can put everything in. A little leaflet in here. What's this? Tips: match remote control with the camera before first time use. Great little case though, lined with foam, which means when you're out and about you can carry all the accessories with you rather than shove them in a plastic bag. Now, the camera doesn't come with a micro card. They say up to 64 gig card, and you always want to be using class 10 with these kind of cameras. Also mentions it's got a gyro, which I didn't realise, which is good for a budget camera. And there's also a Wi-Fi app that goes with this camera, and we'll take a look at that later on. Okay, let's take a look at the operation of this ODRVM 4K action camera. First thing I'd like to say is the manual's actually very good. It's in good English and does explain well the operation, but hopefully my video will show you even more. So on the front here you've got the power switch, which also works as a mode switch when you're changing settings. You've got a 170 degree wide angle lens. On this end you've got scrolling up and down buttons, and also the top one acts as a Wi-Fi button, so you press that to turn on the Wi-Fi. Also, the lower button lets you zoom in while you're taking photographs, but of course it is a digital zoom, so you'll lose some quality the closer you get, and it will also toggle record audio on or off when you're in video mode. On this end you've got HDMI out, so you can play back your videos on your TV, providing you've got the right lead. You've got the micro USB slot that the cable goes into, and you've got the micro card slot. Now they say up to 64 gig, always worth using class 10 or you'll find some of the functions may not work. This is actually a 16 gig SanDisk Ultra, and it goes in logo side towards the screen. Speaking of which, on the back you've got a 2-inch screen. Now on the top you've got the shutter release button, which lets you take pictures or video. In the base here you've got the battery slot. Comes with 2 batteries. They say battery life 50 minutes if you're recording 4K, and longer, probably an hour and 10 minutes if you're recording 720 or 1080. Okay, and so to open the battery case you've got to slide that little catch over, and I find it easier to use a blade, and then flip out that, and of course that just pulls out and you'll see 3 tags inside. It's pretty obvious which way it goes in. Comes with 2 batteries, so you'll get a couple of hours recording time there. Right, so turn it on, press the power button, and it boots up very quickly. And you've got this lovely little 2-inch screen. Now as you can see, it's telling me I'm in video mode. It also says in the manual that loop recording is default. That means when you buy it, it's got loop recording. I'll show you in a minute how to take that off. Shows you whether you've got any change in EV, which is exposure value, wide dynamic range is on, and that I'm in 1080-60. It shows I've got the gyro turned on, I've got sound turned on, I've got a micro card in. I've not set the date yet, as you can see, but it also shows the battery's full. So if I press the shutter release now, video start. You see there's a little voice there that said video start. That is the video prompt that you get. But actually it comes out on the video, so you may not necessarily want that, but it might be useful if the camera's in such a place where you can't actually see the flashing lights. And the one on the top shows when you're in Wi-Fi mode. Okay, press again and it actually says video stop. Video stop. Don't know if you heard that. Now if I press the power button again, one press, I'm in camera mode. Press the shutter release, click, you hear a click there. Little hand there shows I'm in anti-shake mode. Okay, if I press the power button again, I'm now in playback mode, and I can scroll through whichever videos that I've got there, and press it again there, and I'm into these actual settings or setup menu as they call it. So I'm not going to go through everything individually here, but a lot of it's fairly obvious. But the first one you've got there is resolution. So if I press the shutter button, you can see now I scroll up and down through 120, 60, 30, WGVA, VGA, QVA. That UHD is there 4K. That one will be there 2K, and FHD P60 will be there 1080 60 frames a second. So let's say I want to change it to 30. I just select that, press the shutter button, and you'll see next time I go back to video I've changed that. Now I mentioned loop recording default is on, which means you'll get lots of little 3-minute video clips. In other words, it's for when you're using it as a dash cam. So if I press the shutter now, you see I can actually turn off loop recording. Go down to gyro. I said it's got built-in gyro stabilisation, which is unusual for a budget camera really. I've got it turned on, but it takes out severe shaking. Wide dynamic range, time-lapse record, motion detecting if you want to use it for security camera, record audio, you can turn the audio on or off. Date stamp, you can turn it off, it doesn't have to be on the screen. Angle, I mentioned that you can actually record in less than the complete 170 wide angle. You can scroll through down to 70 degrees. I'm going to leave it at 170. Driving mode, night scene, not sure what that does. Probably changes the exposure. Self timer will be a countdown thing. Image size is for stills, photos in other words. Burst photos means when you press the shutter in photo mode you'll get a series of photographs. Quality, you can change from normal to fine to economy. Sharpness, same, white balance. Colour, black or white or sepia. ISO is film speed, which you can actually set. Exposure value makes it lighter or darker, but mostly you don't need to mess with that. Anti-shaking, I'm not quite sure what the difference between anti-shaking and the gyro is, but anyway. Delete, I'm not sure what that deletes. That might be put it all back to factory default. Protect probably means protect videos so that you can't delete them. Wi-Fi, on or off, but as I say, you can just press the up button. That's the identity of the Wi-Fi, I think. SSID. Wi-Fi password for logging in is 123456789. That's for use with the app, but of course you only need to do that the first time you set that up on your phone or tablet. I'll come out of that. Date time, that'll be the format of it, whether you want months first or years first. Auto power off is how quickly it will power off if it's on standby mode. Beep sound, on or off. It's not a very loud beep on this. Voice prompt you can turn on or off. Voice prompt is the thing where it will actually speak to you and say, video start. I'm actually going to turn it off because it comes out on the video. On-screen display, on or off, that's whether you want all that information around it. Car AC, that'll be for auto connect if you're using it as a dash cam. Language, TV mode, PAL or NTSC, depending where you live. TV, that would probably be TV in or out. Screen save, that's the auto power down for the screen because the screen uses quite a bit of power when it's on. So you save some battery. Frequency is your frequency. Format is to format the card. Default returns it to factory settings, and version is firmware version. So, and back to the beginning. So if I now press the power button, I'm back in video mode, and as I say, I've actually changed it to Full HD 1080/30. So I'd say that just about covers that. Just take a look at the remote. I've not paired this yet, but it should be fairly straightforward. It says in the manual, let's see if this actually works. Obviously you need the camera on. Simultaneously press for 5 seconds the two buttons. One, two, three, 4, 5. Matching complete if lamp off. So with a bit of luck I may have paired that now, so let's see what happens when I press record. And yes, I have paired it, look. Red light is flashing on the camera. Press again, stop recording. Press the little camera icon. And it's changed to camera mode and it's taken a still. Don't know if you can hear that click. Press it again and I'll be back in video mode, and it's gone straight in and starts recording. Very useful little remote there. It comes with it's a Velcro strap. I don't know whether they say waterproof, but I would treat these as water resistant really. Probably splash proof if you're dinghy sailing or windsurfing. So hope that's helpful. Next thing I'll show you is the Wi-Fi app. Right, so let's check out the Wi-Fi app. There's a QR code on the manual. You can get a free scanner for your phone. Let's scan it and see what happens. That seems to have got it. Webcam, Zanycam. Okay, let's see. Zanycam install. Okay. Now you may remember the password was 123456788. You only have to do that the first time. Right, so turn the camera on. Press up for Wi-Fi. Yellow light's flashing. That means it's looking for some Wi-Fi. Go into settings. Wi-Fi. It's got to be that. Sports TV. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Connect. Do I want to connect to that? Yes. So let's go into the app, Sony Cam, and there it is. It's already connected. As you can see, the phone is displaying what the camera is looking at, which is me looking at the phone and looking at the camera, like so. So that's connected. Let's see what you can do with this app. Start recording. Beep. Lights flashing, so it's recording now. Stop recording. This basically means you can put the camera somewhere up, probably up to 10 or 15 meters away. Say if you wanted to record some wildlife, and once the wildlife appeared, you could start recording remotely. Of course, if auto power down was on, it would shut down though before. You can't restart it once auto power down and shut the camera. That's the case with all of these. So you can also, no doubt, change settings, movie date in print, video res, cyclic record, that's loop recording, motion detection, and so on. Quite a lot of stuff there. Also change to stills mode. Beep. And it's taken a still. And you can also download to your phone the videos that you've got on your camera. Go back to video mode. So useful little app if you're out and about in the field somewhere making an action sport, whatever, kayaking, paragliding. You could download in the comfort of your camper van and check out the footage on your tablet or phone. So to disconnect is just a question of either disconnecting the Wi-Fi on your phone or turning off the power on the camera. Simple as that. Let's take a look at some test clips. Not the sunniest day ever, but here's one of my favourite test shots. Lots of nice detail on this building and on the brickwork. Everything, settings are at 1080/60 with everything on auto, apart from the fact I've changed it from loop recording to normal recording. And as I pan round, you can see off into the distance there, into the harbour. It's a shame there's no real sunshine today. And of course the audio is from the camera. It does record audio unless you turn it off. Brixton Harbour with the tide out. Still a bit overcast. The sun is trying to come out, so here's another little test shot which has got some good detail on the old market house here, which used to be the fish market years ago. And this is a replica of Sir Francis Drake's boat, the Golden Hind, in which in the 1600s he made lots of voyages of exploration from England. That's another old fishing boat there. That's called a lugger. And there's another one over there on the quay which is being renovated through the winter. Big sailing fishing trawlers. And yet another traditional boat there, Our Daddy. Right, what do you know, the sun's come out. So here's some test footage with a bit of proper sunshine. And it's quite windy, so there's probably wind noise on this as well. Right, and we've still got some sunshine, let's make the most of it. there's some nice detail in this shot. The cottages at the back and the boats. There's some that's come out briefly. And these are all at 1080 60 frames a second on auto with the gyro on and loop recording off. The boat you can see there is the last sailing trawler that was built in Brixham in the 1920s. It's called the Vigilance, about 90 foot long. And now there's some detail on these cottages. The sun's come out a bit, so you should be able to see the detail there and on the rigging on the boats. And some good detail here on the brickwork now the sun's come out. And let's see how the camera deals with low light. This is very dark inside this pub. Thank you. Well, that's a big Brixham sailing trawler called Leader, built in about the 1920s. I've sailed on that a couple of times, raced. Amazing boat. Another couple of sailing trawlers down here. Anyway, Vigilance and Pilgrim. Well, it's another breezy day in Brixham. At least there's some sunshine today, and this is audio from the camera, of course. That's Brixham's outdoor swimming pool. Not many people there this time of the year. Too cold. Oh. Time for a cup of tea, I think, at the Berryhead Hotel, which has some amazing views across Tor Bay. Come here, I'll show you. So that's Tor Bay there. That's looking across towards Torquay and Paynton. And there's Brixham Harbour and Brixham Breakwater. Right, time for a cup of tea.